it's Beanie here. All right, so let's take a look into the disclaimer. Please spend about 10 seconds to look into the disclaimer. Basically, today's session is educational. There will be no, financial recommendation here. If you need to have financial recommendation or anything that's related to your trades, please get an independent advice. Okay, and trading into CFDs, it's come with high risk. Okay, high risk of losing money because of leverage. Okay, so the same thing, the session will be from 7 to 8 o'clock. If I should exceed the session, it would be about 8:05 to 8:10. Okay, so that will be the maximum that you will go. I don't think that I should, be looking at any time beyond that. So a little bit of introduction. So this is myself, Beanie. I'm not sure whether I look like me in that photo, but it's a little bit cold in my office here. It's a little bit cool in Singapore. Because I was just telling, the Axie stuff that in Singapore, the weather is a little bit erratic. It's a bit weird. It gets very, very hot, and then it gets like very gray, very, chill type of weather. It's not cold, but it's a bit weird, right? Okay, so I'm doing trading like many of you. So I trade into many different instruments. I also do training. So a lot of people ask, hey, how come you are trading as being profitable, right? And why would you want to be training? Okay, are you making your money from training? Actually, I tried to semi-retire at 35 years old. That means that my portfolio, my method, I'm able not to work. So I tried to semi-retire by watching the grass grow at 35 years old. I realized that this is not life. This is not what we are supposed to be. That's why you can see, billionaires like, Gates or because, right, they are also still working. Okay, but because of that 3 years of really semi-retiring, I realized that the need to spend quality time with my family, the need to have quality trades. So I developed a lot of automations, okay, whether it is for myself, whether it's for my students or for the institutional or for the family offices, etc. So I'm broadly doing a lot of development in trading systems. I work with a group of programmers, a group of consultants. All right, so we are doing all these automations for the small guys and for the big guys. Okay, now, so a little bit about trading profile, and this is important as a background because this will give you a bit of idea why automations is very important for me. Okay, and perhaps that with this, you can try to understand whether automation is something that you want to take up. Okay, so there are two groups of automations. One is fully automated, meaning that you buy like a expert advisor, EA, and you let it run. You hope that this is a goose that can lay golden egg. But if it's really that successful, how come we don't see this form of automations becoming very popular? Everybody just buy a goose that can lay golden eggs and let it run and run and run. We often will hear things like, oh yeah, this particular system burst my account, okay, and then we'll move on to another system. Okay, so that's the full automation part, right? Now the second part, it's partial automation. So this is what I'm doing. I retain a bit of a control. That means I will decide whether I want to trade or not. So for example, last night was FOMC. I mean, it's nighttime FOMC. It's supposed to be Singapore morning, but yesterday was the FOMC meeting. So I decided I don't want to open a lot of trade into the ahead of that meeting. So I actually opened only one trade when I was in the cinema. All right, that's the short Euro Aussie. Okay, I was watching movie, and because I use that automation, so while I was watching the movie, the EA was able to follow my instructions and to open the trade automatically for me, even though I'm not at the screen. Okay, so this is a partial automation, meaning that I rely on the help of automated trading. That means robots. I control the direction. I control what I want to open. That means what kind of trades I want to open. All right, and basically the robots will take over everything. Okay, to take over opening of trades, take over the management of trade, take over the closing of the trade. Okay, so this is important because not only I trade into Forex, I will trade into also other instruments. So at night, I'll be doing options, to sell the options. In the morning, I'm doing actually the Singapore and the Hong Kong markets. So, to manage so many things, I need that automations. Okay, so I'm a 4-hour trading in the Forex and the gold market. So my trade comes every 4 hours, which is 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m., and 1 a.m. 1 a.m., I don't usually look at the screen. I will usually be sleeping, or rather I will be sleeping. And it's automation that handle the 1 a.m. trade. That means to open a 1 a.m. trade. All right, so today's agenda, let's revise a little bit into wash and rinse. Okay, so that's the key strategy that I'm trading. And I want to talk about the how you automate our trade or my trade, right? Using the wash and rinse trade manager, which is the Tor trade manager. So I want to share with you how we can automate that and what kind of things are being automated and how you can automate your own trading as well. Okay, and if you're interested, you can take the free trial of our indicator, or you can take the free course on wash and rinse. All right, so let's talk about wash and rinse, right? If you have attended the earlier session, you know that washed is a fake move, often resulting in losses. It means that, for example, you initially thought that the trade is going to go up. All right, then you bought in. So instead of it going up, it moves down. So it goes into opposite direction. So then it keep going down, 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 down until you hit your threshold point and you say, hey, look, I want to cut loss. Okay, so the moment you cut your losses, all right, and it became so unlucky that immediately that trade flipped the other side and became profitable, became like, up. Okay, and if you have stayed in your original direction, you would be profitable. You wouldn't have incurred loss. Okay, so therefore you are being stopped out first. Okay, and then you see that trade move in the original direction. So the first move, which is the fake move that goes against you, is called wash. All right, the reverse move, which is a subsequent move in the original trade direction, is the rinse. Okay, and often a retailer thought that is the broker who is actually playing a trick on them. They purposely spike the price and to stop you out. But this is not true. It's not true all the time. Okay, because because of automations, all these levels are very well seen and programmed, okay, and traded by the professionals. Okay, so they have really that full automations. All right, and that very, very advanced, sophisticated, programs that are able to detect a lot of things ahead of what human can do. All right, so they know all these levels, and they will sometimes, play tricks on us. Okay, why I can make a comment on that? Because I work with a lot of them on all these automations. Okay, so now then let's take a look at the recent trade. I know that yes, last week I covered gold, right? So this is another trade that I did, which is gold versus Aussie. A lot of people will do into gold versus USD, but gold versus Aussie happens to be one of the best trade recently if you are into bullish gold. Okay, so let's do a bit of a testing and exercise. Okay, so let me just ask you a question. Question would be, at this point, at this bar here, I know that if you, let me just get a pointer and pen. Okay, at this point here, this one, okay, all right, this one here. Now, do you think that subsequently, later, it is going up or it is going down? Okay, I mean, if you know this trade, then you know the answer. If you hasn't done this trade, then just make a guess. Okay, because at this point here, the bar was actually black color, is moving down. Okay, so what do you think? Later on, do you think there's a higher chance that it will continue to go down, or it will be actually moving up? What do you think? Just make a guess. Yeah, so if you look at momentum, if you look at the color of the candles, all right, it looks like actually heading down, right? Okay, but what I'd like to share with you, while you guys are, making a guess, I want to share with you today this common pattern. Okay, so this common pattern, which is actually recurring in a lot of instruments that you're trading, whether it's gold, whether it's forex, whether it's commodity, or whether it's actually Bitcoin, okay, crypto. Okay, so take a look at the place that I've highlighted here. I mark it with a star with that red color box, right? You see that there was a horizontal level. So this was like a low. So I'm just going to mark it as 1. Okay. Now take a look at the place that I mark it with 2. Okay. Price had this down. Okay. So we have this bar that goes down here. I'm just going to mark this bar as W, the black color bar. Okay. The one that is denoted with a red arrow. So I'm just going to mark it with the W here. You realize that right into a support, because then 1 was a low, right into a support, right? Price was being pushed down. Okay, pushed down like it is very bearish. There isn't any dojis, there isn't any other, narrow range candles that we are so used to. All right, it's being just pushed down with a black bar. Right. Then subsequently, what happened? The next moment, it just flipped the other side, and you realize that immediately the sentiment was being change, right? An immediate flip from a black color, which is bearish, to a white color that's bullish. Okay, and right into a support level. So my question is, right, if it is a support, why is the market pushing down aggressively? Why didn't we see typical candlestick like a doji, all right, near to a support? Because the doji, represent indecision. Shouldn't we be seeing a candlestick where the market is resembling like a bit of like seer support, and yet the momentum is down, so they have a bit of indecision, right? No, right now the market likes to do this kind of push up. Okay, so like this one here, a huge push up, and then the other side, immediate 360-degree turn of a flip down. Okay, so this is what they like. Why? Because there's a lot of excessiveness, but not only that, it makes sense to trap people. Okay, why is that so? Because you see that if this was a very obvious resistance, then it makes sense to flush that resistance, okay, to trap people to go in, and then after that, right, people are being trapped here. People are being made to buy at the high, and then if they flip it the other side, immediately this group of people would be washed. Okay, they'll be making immediate loss. All right, once price rings back down. So if you go back into the rationale of this, it makes sense to scare people by making these black color bar here, where they rinse it, move it down, all right, and then after that they rinse it back up, and then see that the move is often explosive. Why? Because a lot of people here, they were trapped. Not only trapped, right? They were in pain. Why? Because then they might be made, right, to actually sell first, to short it down. After they realize the short is wrong because they're shorting right into a support, then when they flip the other side, they have to cover back their losses, and that's usually very painful. And that's where, with the short covering, that up move, that subsequent move, right, will be often very explosive. So I call this phenomena a wash and the rinse, and you realize that one of the key characteristics of wash and rinse is that subsequently that movement will be often very explosive. Okay, now coming back into my question here at this point, we saw a horizontal level. We saw that this horizontal level was near to this zone of a support, right? And then price was being pushed down. So what happened is that we can easily sort of predict to say that, okay, fine, we are not going to short it down because this doesn't make sense. You are shorting right into a support region, right? But what if, right? What if price can, flip the other side? That means that we will be drawing a wash line at the previous low, all right, and then if price stays below this red color wash line, it will continue to be bearish. But what if we flip the other side? That becomes our trading opportunity. Okay, so this is the G's of wash and rinse. And again, that if you like to know more, please go and take the free module where you're going to have a comprehensive guide on the wash and rinse, right? So the outcome was a very explosive trade. because that price a bit of a dodgy here, right into this, upsloping trend line as a support, right? And then, that bearishness was sort of erased and it flipped the other side. Can you see that explosive movement? And if you have gotten the tall indicator, the one that I gave out on the free trial, you have seen this green color, thick coming in, that would have given you that clue that that's the wash and rinse has happened. Okay, and this trade just happened last week. Okay, because I was actually in this trade last week. All right, so it works very, very well. Same thing, exploded upwards, hit right into the resistance, and then we just got out right at the top. Okay, not a very difficult trade if you have understood what is wash and rinse. Okay, so I mean, through this, I just need you to know, all right, to know that the market is full of excessiveness, full of tricks. A lot of time, it can just be very and ultra bullish, but the next moment it can just flip the other side. Okay, and if you think that this is a trick of the brokers, I can assure you, no, there are people who are trading this particular phenomena. Okay, all right. You can watch this replay because Axie is going to send you the replay. Okay, like I said, if you like to know more about wash and rinse, you can take the free course. I'll just give you the link later on. Okay, all right, so let's move on. All right, so Bitcoin was in a huge hoo-ha recently, and we saw that move down, right? The question is, were there clues before it plunged? Okay, I want to talk about this because Bitcoin is something that I will cover in my own, weekly trading sessions, and it's something that we talk about that it is going to go down. My prediction in Jan this year was that Bitcoin support will be at 19,000. It's actually coming very, very near. Okay, but before that, let's talk about what happened before it moved down. Okay, so as I mentioned, the market would have this huge move. We saw that there's a very strong resistance here. So that's a resistance, right? It's a bit of a high here, and there was a few highs here, right? You realize that there was a push up, yes, indeed, and then when it pushed up, fine, and it flipped the other side. So you see this red color, marking here. So that's this one, the one, this is candle is a wash, and then that's a rinse. Okay, because why? There was a close above the previous high, but then price cannot maintain. Now the worst thing happens at this particular green arrow here, right? The mark with the up bar. You realize that this was that famous push, okay? A push that hit right into the zone of resistance, okay? No value added, no levels broken, no other new levels broken. It just merely hit right to that resistance level and it flipped the other side. All right, of course, it stayed with still a bit of a push here, but then it landed with a bit of a dodgy. And then, if you can draw the wash line, so the wash line is here. At this point here, we had the trade in Bitcoin, okay? We had the trade in Bitcoin about 30,000 and 30,200, if I don't remember wrongly, or maybe 100. That was our alert that came in for the short, okay? So that was a huge drop. But before that, you realize before these huge move, there are always tricks in the market. Okay, these tricks will attract people to enter, but it never break any key level. The resistance is still valid. All right, no new highs being made, no resistance being broken. That resistance is still firmly there. Okay, but that bullish candle coupled with some news, all right, from the news wire is going to make people frenzy. But you look at the end of the day, it is still bearish. Okay, so this is a very common way of wash and rinse. All right, in fact, that if you look through the history, I could let you see that this was the push up. So that's, to us, is a wash candle, and the next moment it rinse back down. Okay, so that's wash and rinse. All right. Okay, so let me just move on to the next slides. So therefore, all right, so therefore, if you look at the whole TOR system, the alien wash system, right? So what it does is that we monitor for wash and rinse. So this one here, which is Tor 3.0, is the free trial indicator that I'm giving out. You install that in your Axi MT4, you are able to see the wash and rinse. Okay, so Tor 3.0 you can download for free. Later I give you the link, right? So this Tor 3.0, it monitors for a higher time frame wash and rinse, which is the day and the week. Okay, now what we do is that we take our trade every 4 hours, meaning that every 4 hours via the dashboard, it will give us that trade. So for example, I told you, right, at 9 yesterday Singapore time, I had the alert to trade into Euro Aussie, which is short Euro Aussie right at the top. And I know I was able to know it because then the dashboard will monitor the trades religiously and update every 1 hour, every 4 hours. Of course, there are other instruments, all right? But what we realize, or what I realize, is that while we have a lot of indicators to point to us to go long or to go short, so what's the problem? Well, why people are not profitable? Okay, number one, they are not around to do the trade. Like I was in the cinema, I'm not around to do the trade, and then you're going to miss out a very good trading opportunity. Number two, you basically didn't have proper control, all right? Either you don't have a proper trade management or money management, all right? Meaning that you're going to burst your account because you basically had the wrong position size open. Or third, while you have a winning trade, you just do not know how to write that winning trade properly. All right, and you end up doing what? The reverse, which is to write your losing trade. What is writing your losing trade? Which is to hang on to your losses. Okay, so these are all the problems that you know. Okay, you know, not only I know, you know about it, but then you are trying to find ways to help it. Okay, you read books, but books doesn't control your hands. Okay, it doesn't control your brain when you are right there when you are trading. Okay, books will ask you to follow rules, but we know that you go and tell a child you better follow rules, don't play with fire. But so what? They have to play with fire first before they know that it's actually dangerous. Okay, and next time they might still be playing with fire. Okay, so when we, or rather I open a trade, I use this trade manager, okay, which is like a semi-automated EA. All right, I still retain the control because I still want to retain the control. I don't want to pass that total control to a black box. I want to retain the control and I want to know when I should put in the trade, whether I should put in this trade or not. I still want to analyze it, but the rest of the things will be taken care by the trade manager. So what are the rest of the things? Okay, so first, right? So let's talk about first thing, what happened. Number one, I monitor all my trades using this dashboard, meaning that with the dashboard, I'm able to have an earlier warning. So yesterday I had the trade at 9 p.m. in the cinema, all right? I mean, the trade was open at 9 p.m. I was still in the cinema, right? But because this dashboard monitors every 1 hour and every 4 hours, so it will let me know that there's an earlier signal. So for example, if you take a look at this place here, right, Euro Aussie, it had an earlier signal 3 hours ago, okay, but that real alerts came in like 1 minute ago. Okay, 3 hours ago, before I entered the cinema, I was able to actually put in that EA to do that automated trading. But the EA will only do it exactly at 9 o'clock when all the rules are met. So instead of me physically being there to click the button, I give an instruction to the EA to say that, hey, look, please, at that specific time, if the rules are met, please enter the trade for me. Okay, all right, so this is what happened. But how do I know what trade to open? Okay, so with the dashboard, I will monitor and say, hey, look, there was like an earlier alert 3 hours ago. All right, so okay, so that's probably like if 9 o'clock, then at 6 o'clock there was earlier signal. All right, every 1 hour I say, okay, 6 o'clock, I'll drag it in and I hope that the trade will be open at 9 o'clock if all the rules are met. If they are not met, fine, I will continue to wait. Anyway, it's not me waiting in front of the screen. It's actually the robot waiting for me. So with this, I can do many other things. I don't need to go and spend my life watching the screen, hope that I can make money, all right? But then wasted, that 3 hours of my life and I didn't have a chance to watch a movie, something like that. I'm not a fan of watching movie, but my children likes to watch it, so I bring them there. Okay, so therefore, for example, what happened is that I will receive like like alerts on my handphone, like earlier, like 7 o'clock, then I put in the trade at 2 hours later. So this is like a 1 hour early alert, and I put in the trade. Okay, so these are some of the trades that we will do, because the alerts are quite often, like for example, just a span of 10 days, all right, I was able to get 4 trades in dollar yen. So is even though we are trading every 4 hours, we are not traders that just open a trade a month. No, all right. And then we apply this across different instruments, whether it's forex indexes, or whether it is crypto or gold or oil. So I trade into these 5 main groups of instruments. Okay. All right. So let me just talk about then what kind of automations you can explore. Okay. But one thing that I feel personally very, very strongly is I'm truly, totally, 100% against staring at the screen for trades. All right. So some people say, okay, anyway, I only stare at the screen. I only look at the trades like only a day, like 1 hour after I come back from work. But you cannot promise that it's actually an hour, because even within that hour, you might not be able to find a trade. And some people want to restrict to an hour and then purposely go and find a trade, then that trade might not be profitable. So in order to result in a profitable trade, you might just extend beyond that 1 hour and keep trading and trading. Why am I able to tell you this? Because I went through all this myself. Okay, so I went through all this myself, and I never want to go through this again. Therefore, if you look at our weaknesses, there are few weaknesses. Number one, we overtrade. Okay, some we undertrade. For example, I heard my students, said that after 2 losses, they want to take a rest. All right, and then they want to take a rest for a month and see that the good times will come again. I say, hey, look, this is not the way to do that, right? Because you only lose like 2 trades. How about the few like 10 trades that you won? You don't remember that. You just remember the 2 trades. All right, and then if you stop already, you might not be able to make back your losses. So that's one group of people under trade. Now the other group of people is actually over trade. That means that they make losses, right? And they keep trading and trading, hoping that to make back their losses. All right, so the solution is to understand risk management or trade management. Now this is a whole big area to talk about. All right, basically we can look at books to say that, oh yeah, never lose more than 2% of your account. But to me, all these are all theories. Who to control that 2%? Are you able to control that religiously? Okay, so that's one thing to think about that. Now, next would be, weaknesses such as you hold a trade for long. Okay, what trade? You hold a losing trade for long. All right, so the solutions is to understand that you need to cut your losses. Okay, when you hit the stop loss, cut your losses. But how many of you actually do it? How many of you understand that you need to cut your losses? But how many of you actually do it properly? Okay, so this is another thing, to explore. Next, many people actually exit your winners. Some people look at, the trades. Okay, I make about $200 already. Let's quickly close it. Let's close it. All right. Worst still is that you get so excited that when you are in the room, all right, you saw that you have $200. When you bring a handphone to the toilet, next moment you already realize that you left only 100. Okay, the moment that you spend a bit of time in the toilet and finish whatever that you've done with, you look at it, oh yeah, I'm actually left with only $10. Let's quickly close it. The moment that you close it, you get out of the toilet, then that particular trade jump back to become 200 and then subsequently to 300, 400 and $500 profit. Ever experienced that before? Okay, I even experienced it in my earlier days, right? By being so excited or so scared, I actually dropped the phone inside the toilet bowl. I remember that so well. I dropped the phone inside the toilet. I said, oh yeah, I shouldn't be bringing a phone inside the toilet. All right. So when you don't hold on to a winning trade, especially you don't know how to add a winning trade, that won't make you very profitable. Okay, why is that so? Because if you take a look at accuracy, people ask me, okay, how accurate is the trading system? All right, they look at which are the trades that's profitable, which are the trades that's not, right? But this is not the right question to ask, okay? They should be looking at accuracy. At the same time, they should be looking at the ratio of the win versus the loss. We call that a reward to risk ratio. So if you take a look at this particular table here, if you have an accuracy of 30%, that means 70 wrong, 30% right, but your reward every time you make, right, is 1.5 times that of your loss. Okay, you still end up as a loss, net loss. But if your accuracy is 40%, that means that you don't even need to have 50%. Your accuracy is 40%, but your reward is 150 versus a loss of 100. Basically, like every $1 of loss, you have like 150 of gain. Then you would end up in a break-even situation. And if you have, let's say, 50% right wrong, okay, so that's like throwing a coin and you get random results, 50 right, 50 wrong, right? Then if you have the reward to risk of 1.5 to 1, then you have a profit. Now, which means that it is not accuracy as the most important thing. It is about cutting your losses fast or make your losses constant. And your variable would be your win, okay? And you have to extend that win as much as possible. And you look at all these leverage instruments, right? Forex, gold, oil, all right? They are super good in trending. Okay, so for example, if you have recently traded, like, the past 2 or 3 weeks into dollar yen, so that's a super nice trending trade. We had a buy at 127, we rode all the way to 134.5, so that's a super trending trade. Okay, so therefore we don't need to have a high accuracy, but we need to have that win more than your loss. Now, why do I want to actually bring out this, right? Because the first thing that you can outsource to an expert advisor is your risk control. So for example, your head, you know that you only risk 2% of account, right? You know that, for example, but your action of opening the trade, you want it to be very precise so that every time when you open the trade, your risk would be capped at 2% or whatever that you define, or will be capped at the X amount. So for example, every trade I want to lose only $100 or $500, right? I will cap it to this side and will never expand it. Okay, so this is the first thing that the automation can help you. So there are a lot of, EAs, okay, which are trade managers, right? So once you put in the EA, you define your risk. Whenever the EA open a trade for you, they make sure they calculate that percentage loss or amount, all right, without you even pressing a calculator, all right, right to the dot. They won't make a mistake, right? Machine is very hard to make a mistake in this aspect here. Well, we can give in to our human desire or human fear. Machine, no, 1 + 1 is always equal to 2 for them. Okay, so therefore, let me just demonstrate this trade here. All right, how you can use the trade manager that I've designed, which is the Tor Trade Manager, all right, to open a trade and to manage the trade. There won't be any sound here, so I'm just gonna talk about it. So if you see this magenta line, so this is a wash line. Okay, so I have a magenta line, so the trade was automatically open at every 4 hours if there's a signal. Okay, so when it open, right, so you will put in the stop loss here. See, this is a small little line here, put in a stop loss. And then what this means here is that, the EA actually automatically take profit. Okay, it take profit and it shift the whole basket to break even. All right, and every day, every moment, you will religiously shift the stop loss for you. And then after that, right, if you are in a net positive position, you will keep on adding. So these are these blue arrows here. It keep adding the position for you. All right, and keep shifting the stop loss without you even doing that, because you will automatically shift your profit. You will add, your position for you. And after that, if let's say, it meets your final stop loss and everything has been stopped out, it will totally exit the position for you. All right, you don't even need to handle it, okay, because it will automatically manage all this all for you. Okay, so this is the benefit. Why? Because I just have to do one thing, right? I just have to decide whether I want to open or not to open this particular trade. So that's the only decision I need to do. Okay, and then after that, what should I do then? I just have to tell an instruction to this EA to say, okay, I want you to automatically open an auto lot, but the total lot size should not exceed 300 USD. That means that I don't care, all right, what is the status at that point of time. I only want this trade to have a loss of 300 USD. Okay, you can define that as a percentage of your total amount in your account. Okay, I want to lose only 1%. All right, so the robot will automatically calculate that lot size to open in a way that meets your criteria. So in this case here, all right, you give the instruction, they execute it properly for you. Okay, the second thing is that a lot of people doesn't know how to protect their profit. And then this so-called auto shift stop loss, right, it's just going to do the job. You need this trailing stop, all right, meaning that, let's say, for example, you're in a meeting, you are away traveling, you want someone, okay, to manage the trade for you, but you don't want to do it yourself, because when you are like having a meeting or you're traveling, your kids is there playing and say, oh no, let me take out my phone, I want to manage the trade. No, this trade manager will automatically open that for you. Now, a lot of time that because of extreme situation, we are not there to go and close the trade for us. All right, and then this resulted in not being able to maximize the profit. But no, all right, when you have all those trade managers, they will define how to exit the trade. All right, so if you are scared to cut loss, if you are scared to take profit, you are not there to take profit, right? So all these will be all done, all right, with the rules that you incorporate in. Okay, so let me just sum up from this video here. What can be automated? Your trade size, your risk management, okay, for example, shifting or stop loss, okay, and then next one, the auto adding, because this EA's auto add position based on the rules. You are not around, you're working, you're sleeping, but the EAs will auto add position. All right, you auto add position only on one condition, only if you are profitable in the first place. Okay, now why is this very important? Because when you are looking at your trade, sometimes you say, I'm profitable, but I don't know how to add, because I don't know how much to add to make sure that I won't affect my main account. All right, or for example, you are profitable, but you just do not know how to calculate the lot size, and by the time you press the calculator, the trade will have already be gone. Okay, so with this, the expert advisor, which is the robot, will do all this menial work for you, menial calculation, menial shifting. I don't think that shifting stop loss is menial, but it's more like you're not around there to look at it. Okay, so these are few things that the robot can help you to greatly increase your profitability. Okay, so do consider some form of automations for your trade so that you can increase your, you can reduce your losses, boost up your psychology, enhance your following the rules, and lastly, increase your profitability. Okay, all right. So let me just move this. Okay, so in terms of the EA setting, all right, so I have defined things like, okay, what is the lot size mode? It can be fixed lot size, fixed lot, or it can be a risk percent of account balance, or it can risk in account currency. Okay, so for example, if I choose that risk amount in account currency, so it means that if I want to risk $500, I'll be risking $500, right? So if you choose a risk percent, I want to risk like 1% of my account balance, the EA would automatically, extract that 1%, calculate your lot size based on the stop loss, and then would automatically put that in. Okay, so this saves a lot of time. All right. In fact, that I don't even calculate the lot size myself. I don't even place in a key in the lot size myself. What I do is I just, drag it in, put it in, define how much I want to lose, and that's it. Okay, and you just do it. Now, perhaps that some of you might ask, okay, why do I have to use an expert advisor myself? I just have to follow somebody else. The thing is that, yes, you can do that, but nothing beats, right, having a good control of your trade. Because when you are wrong, it's you who are wrong, right? But when other people lose money and then you are wrong to just follow the wrong person. It makes it very, you know, it gives a bad taste, all right, in your trade, all right. So that's what I think. Okay, but then no right or wrong answer. So let's take a look again in one of the trade, which is on euro dollar, on how, you know, again, that you can outsource your trade to automations and how other people outsource it, including myself, including my students. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so same thing. First, the auto open and then the auto take profit. Okay, that means that once it hit a certain levels, it will automatically take profit and adjust the whole basket stop loss to break even. So you don't have a lot of worries. Okay, so it enhances your psychology. All right, you can see that it automatically add profit, automatically trail your trade. So you can see all the red color arrows here. So these are the places that the EA automatically add in, new positions. Okay, why would we want to do that, right? Because we want to make sure that at the point that we have a winning trade, we keep on riding that winning trade. Why? Because you know that when you back trade that, right? You know that, for example, a trade can move like 500 pips, but you only like gotten how much? You only gotten like 50 pips. And you look back and say, oh, I should have gotten actually like 400 or 450 for this particular trade. Why didn't I do it? Why didn't I stay? If I have a stayed, right, that's fine. But you do not know that whether this trade is going to be that profitable or moves that much. So the first starting point is always when you put in the trade, we hope that it can get into a little bit of a profit, okay, and then it can shift the whole basket into a break-even situation. So this is a huge booster to the psychology, okay, not because we cannot find good trades, okay, or you can't find good trades. You can find good trades, but you just do not know whether this particular trade is going to be the one that can move a lot. So for example, you found a good trade and then you exited at 50 pips, all right? But this trade can move like 500, 300 pips, and you don't go and totally leverage on this particular move. All right. But then your next trade, what happened? Your next trade is a loss. And because of weaknesses, you hold on to your losses and you clock a 100 pips. So this is lousy reward to risk ratio. Okay, so for us to manage psychology, the first thing we want to do is to shift the basket into break even. So once you have break even, you have no losses. When you have no losses, it enhances your psychology greatly. Okay, that means that you can sleep with no losses and you can sleep peacefully, and then tomorrow you wake up, either your trade is being stopped out, you make zero gain, zero loss, or your trade turns out to be that super winner. Okay, so this is one of the trade management. All right, so what was being outsourced here as a summary? The entry was being outsourced. It was a planned entry, not a rush entry. We have the auto shift in terms of the stop loss. We have the auto add to the winning position, and then we have the auto exit. All right, the trade was actually a planned exit and not a forced exit. Now, what is the difference between a forced exit versus a planned exit? Forced exit means that you are randomly exiting your trade. You go to the toilet, you saw that it's like only left with $10, you quickly click the position, that's called forced exit, because you're actually being forced to exit the trade, right? Because you happen to see it. So that's called forced exit. All right, but when it's a planned exit, means that everything is totally 100% fully planned. I will exit when this happens, etc., etc. Okay, so few things, and these are all very easy to outsource. Outsource in terms of automations, right? Your entry can be outsourced. For example, you can just do an EA, and then you have all the rules there, and then you can just click the buy and sell. All right, so the trade manager that you saw just now has this function where you can just click the buy and sell, all right, randomly, or put in the buy limit and the sell limit as and when you want. But then you will also automatically, shift the stop loss at the winning position, auto exit, determine the trade size, etc. So we only get to decide only one thing: do you want to trade this now, or do you want to trade this at all? Okay, so only one decision made. All right, so just to sum up, going back into the euro dollar trade, which was the one that you watched in the video here, so that this video, the one that you watched, that was a euro dollar trade. So just to sum up, Actually, for me, I posted this trade at about 4:48 on March 31st. Okay, and then I've said that okay, we are planning in the euro-dollar trade. We are planning a 5 p.m. close. All right. The reason why the wash and rinse and blah 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 blah. No, but what's the problem? Even though I posted this trade at 4:48, they receive an instant notification in WhatsApp and Telegram. Okay, but the problem that people will face is that at 5 o'clock, I'm not there to trade. I'm in a meeting, I'm watching a movie, I'm just like trapped somewhere else. I can't do the trade. Okay, but doesn't matter. Okay, for us, when we have the trade manager, we can already in the morning, all right, drag it in, then put it in and say, I want to trade euro. Okay, and then when 5 o'clock or 1 o'clock when it happens, all right, then you just automatically open the trade. So 5 o'clock the trade was open, and then at about 9, I already took the partial profit. The whole basket was shifted to no loss, and then I go to sleep. Okay. Then the next day, day 2, right? In Singapore time, at Singapore time, 9 a.m. Right, the trade manager will automatically shift the stop loss to protect more profit. So for example, you see the trade was open here at this bar here. Let me just mark that down at this bar here, right? And then this was the first day. Okay, so for the first day, and the second day the stop loss was shifted lower. That means that at somewhere around here, all right, the trade was actually shifted to break even. The next day, it was shifted even lower. The third day was shifted even lower. We add in new position here, more position, because we keep riding this particular trade, right? And then, so the trade lasted for, I think 5 days. Okay, so third day, add new position, shift stop loss, go to sleep. And then the fourth day, add position, shift stop loss. And then the fifth day, then we hit into our profit target. Okay, so we had about initial position about 310 pips, and each of the add-on position we had about 100 pips. Okay, so that was really a very, very nice and wonderful trade. And do we have this often? When the market is into these explosive movements, otherwise a lot of time, right, we might not be able to add like 5 positions. At most, we'll be able to add like maybe 1 or 2, and then we will exit the trade based on the whole basket being trailed out. Okay, so this is how I used automations for myself, and this is also the reason why I can do so many things in life. Okay, now up to here, any questions before I moved on? I know that this time around I didn't pause and ask you guys a question because I wanted to make sure that I share everything about these automations, because with automations, there's a lot of improved quality. Okay, trade quality, quality of life, and quality of own self, right? Because sometimes when we get into a lousy trade, I mean we trade lousily, I feel bad. Okay, I feel bad about why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that. All right, I should have done that. Okay, so I mean during my morning job, I would just think about it. What should I have done properly? What should I do? So I think about all this, right? So when I think about all this, I say, hey, look, there must be solutions, okay? And solutions would be automations, all right? Whether we believe or not, the whole trading community, whether it is the professionals, the institutions, or the retailers, right? That automations is something that will happen, or is happening, and it will get more and more, all right? So if we don't move towards the advancement in automations or technology, we're just going to be left out. Okay, any questions for me to answer before I move on to the next part? Okay, so I wait for your I wait for your answers and questions, right? But while I'm waiting for that, okay, good. A lot of information. Yes, you can just request for a replay of the video. If you didn't get the earlier replay of the last webinar, you can write to Axi. I just give you the email, all right, and then you let them know, they will send it to you. Okay, so again, to repeat, if you like to get the go for the wash and rinse course, all right, so this is module 1 is free. Okay, just register at the website, and then you're gonna get the lesson online, which is what is wash and rinse, why the wash and rinse is often explosive, how you trade the wash and rinse in the different instruments, all these instruments, and then how does the wash and rinse pattern look like, how to increase the strength, and examples of the wash and rinse trades using the alien wash. Okay, this is the first part. Okay, but in order to get the full strategy, you need the second part as well. Now, the second thing is that you can go for the free trial, which is the indicator that shows that arrows and ticks, that's the wash and rinse. And then if you want to get the full course, okay, which is the second part, then from now till 30th of June, okay, if you are an existing Axie client or you are not, all right, then meet the conditions, all right, then you get your full course, which is $700, full course fee, $700 SGD, right, Sing dollar, will be fully refunded as cash. I repeat, it is not a credit, okay, it is a cash, right, meaning that you take that module 2, which is $700, all right, you pay me, pay the company first, pay to get trained, all right, then that $700 will be refunded back to you in your trading account as a cash. All right, so this promotion is really attractive because, you know, I've not seen such a very attractive promotion. Okay, seriously. All right, so what is included in the second module? All right, you will learn the full Tor course, Tor strategy, right, including why this wash and rinse phenomenon happened, all right, and how to trade that. Okay, so we have this order book and flow within the day, all right, and then we have you know, the multiple time frame. Now the key thing is that we trade using the higher time frame. Okay, so therefore when we have that great move, right, is because we are using the lower time frame, which is a H4 or 4-hourly chart, to trade into the movement that happens in a day. Okay, so that's why we can get that pips, that 300, 500 pips, right, in a lot of our trades. Okay, then of course certain things are not reviewed. The key thing is this OB of the day. So for example, why it is important, how it contributes, as how it becomes a trigger. So yes, I've hidden things for you, but you know, it's in module 2, which will fully told to you. All right, and you do get the set of indicators that you see on my chart, which includes the auto box. All these are given inside the course, given for your use, the Tor MTF, Tor 3.0, the dashboard, and the trade manager. The trade manager is also inclusive. All right, we're gonna launch a new Tor, totally 100% fully automated EA. Okay, then as long as you are having the you know, 12 months the alien room subscription, that means that you're in the course, right? Any new indicator or new expert advisor, all right, that is being launched would be given, provided for your use free of charge. You don't need to actually top up anything. Okay, so what's included in module 2? Number 1 is you have this online lesson. All right, you do the online lesson. You can watch the videos, take the lesson for as many times as you want. And included in the course is a 12 months the alien room. What's that? All right, this is our support. Okay, so you're gonna have the right to use the indicators for 12 months. Okay, and then you're gonna have this daily broadcast of the wash and rinse into the Telegram. You have this twice weekly webinars. So for example, yesterday we have FOMC. Tuesday, I already told my students, I think that we're gonna have the relief rally. Skip the dollar, but don't be overly bearish into the indexes. Indeed, that indexes actually bounced up, but then it came back down today, and then trade that crosses. Okay, so these are the few strategies that we map out. So I will update every week, train you every week, and then we're going to look at the trade ideas and what to trade, you know, every time. All right, so maybe one of the questions you ask is that, okay, what happened after 12 months? Okay, what happened after 12 months of my subscription? Can I still access the course? The answer is yes, you can still access the course. Okay, so the online course is still valid after 12 months. All right, do I still have this? The answer is yes. Do I still have this? Yes, yes, yes. The only thing that you don't have is this one here. Okay, that means that after 12 months, you don't have this anymore. Okay, but anyway, the whole idea is that currently the whole course and that, indicators qualify for that full fee course refund. Okay, you pay $700, meet that criteria, Axie pay you that $700 back into your account. So in a way, no loss. All right. So after 12 months, if you want to continue with the set of indicators, if you are profitable, then you can, subscribe for a either 6-month plan or 12-month plans. 12-month plans again is at 576 Sing dollar. It's all listed in our website. Okay, a lot of people ask me, hey, look, is this 100% full cost refund? Is that true? I have to assure you, it's 100% true. That means what do you do then? You just have to make a funding, all right, a fresh funding of 2,000 SGD, minimum 2,000 SGD or equivalent. So you can fund in USD, you can fund in AUD, you can fund in pound, but it just have to be 2,000 SGD equivalent. So it's not a lot. All right. Then what do you do to get that refund? You have to pay first for the cost, and after that, right, you have to trade 2 standard lots in Forex Worth. Okay, so write to us. Okay, we have a method for you to meet that 2 standard lot in just a few minutes. Okay, really a few minutes, right? You can actually fulfill that lot size very easily to get that $700 cash refund. And then, the whole idea is that a lot of people told us that they are very stressed. They are very stressed to fulfill that lot size. Don't worry, Axie gives you like 3 months after the last day of promotion. But if you really can't, then you can, just use our method. So to know more about our course, this is the link. So that's the link here. Oops. To sign up for the course, this is the link. So I'm just gonna type the link for you. Okay. Yes, this is for the course. All right, to send to all of you, and then you can take that. Now, next is that to get that indicator trial, the one that shows this arrow here. Okay, so these arrows and this green color arrow, etc. This is to show wash and rinse, all right? So this was a chart on NASDAQ. We also trade into the indexes. You can see that this was that very nice wash and a very nice rinse here. A very nice, huge movement. Okay, so if you want to get the trial of this indicator, please go to the website here. I'm just going to type that for you. Or you can do a scan on your handphone, all right, okay, send to all of you, and just do a scan of the handphone here, the QR code, so that you can actually get the link. So just download this from here, fill in the form, and the trial is until 30th of June. So do it quickly, do it quickly. The last date of the promotion is also under 30th of June, right? And then you can only use the indicator on the Axie demo or the live account. So once you fill in the link, right, then there will be an email, okay, that gives you all the information. Okay, every single information on how to install will be all there. Okay, just use it as a trial to see how the wash and rinse work. But as I emphasize one last time, to get this indicator and all the setup indicators, including the trade automations, all right, the $700, and that is fully reimbursed, refunded into your trade account. Okay, all right, last one. If you like to contact myself, so this is the email, this is the Telegram. You can just take a photo of what I've flash here, and then if you didn't receive the earlier email, okay, on the video, or if you like to receive the replay, so please email to this email here, which is partnersupport@axie.com. So this is a dedicated support line for my students, my clients, all right? So you are like a concierge privileged group. So do email them, or if you need to, you can just contact myself. Okay, and that's it for today. Let me just know whether you have any questions or any slides that you want to see, so that I can just flash that and talk about that. Otherwise, I'm done for today. Any questions? I just stay here for maybe a minute or two while you type your questions. Otherwise, I just end the session, and then hope that you have a very wonderful educational session. Any questions? Any slides you need me to flash? Okay, I just wait for another 30 seconds to 8:04. Otherwise, I'll just end the session here. Okay, what I like to do is I would like to flash this one for you to get the free trial. Okay, how do you take the entry on top? We take the entry on a 4-hour chart. Okay, how I take the entry, let me just go to this one here, right? The key lies in module 2. That means that we would look at we will break down the time frame based on how the books are being flowed through the day, and then there are certain zones which are important, and then basically we break that down, and then we look at certain specific entry. It's not a candlestick entry, it's not a typical entry that you probably get in any of those open domain. All right, and the key thing here is actually this one. So this SN3, it's actually our entry. Okay, so we do that for FX, for gold, for oil, every 4 hourly, all right, which is a H4 trade. And then for the index, we do on a 1 hour. So, I mean, pardon me, I can't talk more about it. If you want to know more, then please take module 2, which is $700. Okay. Thanks for the webinar. Thanks a lot, David. Page 1 to 8, I need to see. Yes, you know, Axie is going to send you a replay. You are totally new and haven't started trading. What resources can I use to start? Take the module 1 so that you can know what is wash and means. I have another one more module, which is free of charge as well, that talks about how to get started in Forex trading. You can do that. Is the lot size suggested provided by the alerts? No. But you can trade the minimum lot size, which is either 0.02 or 0.03. So basically that we recommend not to spend more than 5% of your total, how to say, for every one trade, right? Not for every one, for all the trades that you do, right? You do not do more than 5%. But the expert advisor, the Tor trade manager, has inbuilt risk management. It will stop opening new trade when it hit a certain percentage of loss. Let's say, for example, if you say that it should stop opening new trade when it hits a 10% loss in your account, then you will not do that. It will not open new trade for you until you've turned positive. So this is like a a risk control of the overall account. Kindly show the first slide. Wait, is SGD $700 the minimum to start? The SGD $700 is the cost fee that would be fully refunded. All right, but if you're asking whether there's any upsell, whether you need to pay SGD 700 and that's it, I would say yes, you need to pay SGD $700 and that's it. Okay, but in order to get the cost refund, that means to have this $700 refunded to you, right? You need to open an Axie account using our link, a special link to identify that you are interested to take part in the promotion. You need to fund, 2,000, minimum 2,000 SGD. Okay, make a funding into an Axie account, minimum 2,000 SGD, or you can do the equivalent in terms of USD. It's also possible, or AUD, depending on the currency that you're interested in. All right, then that will qualify for first as the first condition for the refund. The second condition is that you trade 2.0 lot. Okay, that means you must meet that volume requirement. As I said, right, if you want to know how to meet the volume requirement quickly in just less than 5 minutes, let us know. We will teach you how to do that. Okay. Okay, so some of you received the Tor indicator already. That's good. So let me just flash the first slide. The first slide is, if I'm not wrong, that's first slide. That means the cover slide, right? Cover slides. Okay, so that's the cover slide. Wait, let me just give me a minute. Here we go. Okay, so this is the first slide. Is that what you want? If you are already an Axie user, yes, you are entitled. So just go to our website. If you want, you can get the trial, and then you can go to the website, right? And you look for our link to apply, or if you are already Axie user, right? You just open another account in the Axie client portal. Okay, open another account, and then in the new account that you open, you write join 402612 as a remark. Okay, or you can send an email to partner support at Axie. Then just let them know that you want to take the tour promotion, or you want to join Beanie's course or whatever. Just let them know, and then they will guide you through. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining the session, and good night. Bye bye.